I got a possible on our target. Bones and Kozak, position.
Approaching target support unit. Ghosts, watch your lines of fire. Place is heavy on civilians.
So we're here with lead level designer Mathieu Crépeau. And Mathieu, first of all, what we've seen here today with the different levels that the ghosts go to, what kind of considerations have you made designing these levels as we've seen today?
At first, we wanted the player to experiment different environments, so different situations. So that was very easy and very comfortable for us level designer to have a new setting at each map, each level. So in terms of variety of situation, but also of storytelling, it was very comfortable to have all those environments and putting the player in a situation where he has to discover his playing area is very clever for the fact that we want the player to be cunning enough to use his intel gathering methods or to use his items to have a better knowledge of the terrain.
The items we've seen today, such as the drone or the cloak that lowers the visibility, those items, how does those affect the level design in the game?
It's an incredible set of tools that we provide to the player, but also we provide for the level design perspective. And in fact, the basic rule that we have when starting a level is that we want to provide to the player an area where he can or cannot use the tools that we give it. So basically what we want to do on a level is to give a setup with a certain topology, with a certain setup of enemies, with patrols or static enemies, etc., where the player is able to experience and to play his own style of gameplay. So if he's a gun-blazing guy, he can go nuts and enter the situation and shoot all enemies. Or if he's a much more tactician or techno-geek fan, he can use the drone, etc. So in terms of level design, it means that you have to provide patterns everywhere and sufficient surface so that the player is able to make choices and is able to discover his own way of resolving a conflict.
Well, as the player moves through the different levels, we've seen these different kind of obstacles depending on the pacing in the game. How do you make such assessments? You know, where to put different kind of interesting points in the map.
We've experimented a lot by prototyping situations. So we went first into a heavy prototyping phase, having the level designer play with the toys, play with the metrics, see in terms of navigation what was comfortable, what was giving a claustrophobic feeling, was giving the feeling of being comfortable in the fight, of being in a danger zone, etc. So basically, by testing those situations out of the game, when coming to the game, we knew what would be a nice opportunity for situation, and then we have that big rational stuff to be able to distillate those situations and patterns in terms of variety, so that we don't have like a 12 same situation in a row, but having, okay, this big situation, this narrow navigation situation, etc. So basically we had as a musician, we know our scales, and we've provided instruments to the LD to play the symphony.
When you see and when you play the game, there are many aspects to the level design and you know, the positions of the enemies and the way you use, as you said, the way you use enemies, items. Is there any aspect of the level design or any situation that in the level design that you are especially proud of?
the fact that pleased me the most is that when I see like 4 different players playing in 4 different ways the same situation, you know, I'm a big shooter fan, and usually shooters are very linear, imposing the pacing but also the methods of resolution. In our game, basically, as soon as you have acquired the basic reflexes and mechanics and features, you're sent to freedom, and you can go nuts with your tools, and that's what I like in our game. And we have like such situation where you can engage enemies again, go stealth again, and go back to heavy-duty gunfight, and then use the drone. And to me, what I like the most is, you know, pushing forward the situation into a point where I have such an edge that the resolution is just a reward to my cleverness, so to say. And we have like the situation you played in Russia is a typical Ghost Recon feeling, because it gives you the opportunity to scoot around the situation and start the fight whenever you want. So it's you that is in control, and that's also part of the fantasy of those special forces that are the ghosts, to be the predator in a situation. Even if they are outnumbered or something like this, they can choose the moment where the fight will begin with the knowledge that they will end up the fight very quickly.
As you play the game, it feels very realistic in a way, the way that the natives in Africa dress and the way they behave when you come as a squad of soldiers. Did you do any research to sort of catch that environment and that feeling?
Indeed, we did a lot of researches, a lot of ground reference, etc. But it was only a start point, because we wanted to be authentic as possible, not realistic. So authentic is a base of reality, and then expand it to the game limitation or technical limitation, etc. So everything you see in the game is authentic, but you know, realistic. For example, a M4 gun is gonna go through, pierce like 6 walls. Obviously cannot do that in a game, but we want it to be authentic, so we respect and we are relevant with the actual firepower we provide to the player.
So it's not going to be that hardcore simulation realism, it's more like a Hollywood realism.
It's Hollywood is a little strong as a term, but you know, it's immersive enough so that you never feel betrayed by the system, and you don't feel the gamey situation as in other shooters, but you're comfortable enough with the game mechanics to trust the level design, the mechanics, the gadgets, etc., to perform extra human situations.
Now, as you said yourself, we've seen levels taking place in African-like environments, and in Russia, and in Pakistan as well. What other locales can we expect in the final game?
You're gonna first start in South America, meaning Nicaragua, Bolivia, but also you're gonna move up to Africa, so Zambia, obviously. You're gonna go to Russia, explore several places over there, and you know, a lot of different places. In fact, the country itself is not that important, but much more the setting, the graphical setting, because we wanted to provide, at the opposite of the latest iteration of Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter that took place in the same city. There we took the opposite decision to have the player discovering a new place each time. So we took some heavy, natural, open environment. We're gonna bring the player into much more urban theater. We're gonna have some surprises, places. I cannot tell right now. You're gonna have sand, snow, winter, summer, night, day, etc. So that's the point. It's that the ghosts, they are able to operate like a special force in like 18 hours everywhere on the globe. And with whatever climatic and time of the day conditions, and that's a way also to promote our mechanics, that is intel gathering, usage of technology, but also cover shooting very efficient.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Pepper, you're cleared hot. Take him down. Engaging enemy drone. Taking up the drone. Have hostiles massing at the rally point. Let's light them up.